you're listening here, you need to go look down underneath below here. Like everything, love it. Follow me on Instagram, Mature Mel. Do it if you're smart.
Hey everybody, get ready, cause it's mature adult time. Mature adult time, yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to Mature Time Adultcast.
Wait. That's
I'm Eric Kazmarowski.
I'm Mark Hernandez.
And I'm Serafina Costanza.
This is Mature Adult Time. We're Sans 2 people today because they got sick. They have weak immunities and could not hang.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're here.
Yeah, we're here and we're moving forward because, someone's got to plow the way.
Yep. And it's going to be us.
Yeah. So we're back.
I would like to announce right off the bat though that matureadulttime.com has launched, so you guys can go check that out.
Oh, wow.
We'll be updating that much more, but you can subscribe to the podcast there and get updates on everybody. We'll have show listings for everyone involved who's got shows coming up.
Nice. That's super stoked, and lots of fun shows are coming up, but lots of fun shows have been happening for free just around us. First of all, we are recording in Southern California, so we've had fires, but as an indigenous Californian, I'd like to say that I like this. I want it to be a new holiday thing where we just cleanse the hills of California every year. I think it's kind of nice. I mean,
displaced a lot of people.
I'm sad about that. Of course, there's things that need to be worked out.
People who die and the pets and stuff.
I think one person has died from the fire so far.
But a lot of pets have died.
A lot of pets have gone missing. I think the strong ones have lived.
24, 25 horses died.
Natural selection.
What?
Those weren't good horses.
Actually, they were locked up at a gate. They were locked
That's
up in the
fucked up.
stable.
That's just bad owner.
They
were locked up in
couldn't
a
go.
stable,
Well,
yeah.
they couldn't get to them fast enough. The fires literally just apparently showed up just like in Northern California.
I think it's arson, dude. I think it's just people went and let some fires, dude. There was no lightning or anything.
That's what I said.
And it's in so many different spots.
But it could. It's in so many different spots because of the wind.
Well, yeah, but I also don't think it's an organized arson. But I think some dudes lit some fires.
No, it could still just be coming from one fire, and the wind carries an ember, and it's so dry. That's what the conditions are. But it could be maybe electric line that fell down somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that would have been reported, and you would have known the cause immediately.
Maybe.
I think, and maybe it's just conspiracy art, but I just think that maybe some firefighters wanted some good hazard pay coupled with overtime right before the holidays.
Well,
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Didn't that movie just come out?
Most wilderness fires are started by firefighters that are out on they're out of work. So just start one of these, and bam, I can make some more money right now. Because wilderness firefighters are they're separate than structural firefighters. Structural firefighters stay within the city, and they kind of live there on 24-hour to not even 24-hour, 3 to 4 day shifts. And they're just there. Structural wilderness firefighters are on call, and they only get work when there's a wilderness firefighter or during the early seasons where they do a lot of preventative shit.
Well, that's a forester, right? Is that what you're talking about? A forester has a
Yeah,
job?
yeah, but there's also just different. There's a whole category of just wilderness firefighters, and I'm sure a forester is a part of that. But there's fires happen in wilderness outside the forest, I'm guessing, and I don't know shit. I'm just saying.
I would feel that someone who is which I don't even know is a real thing because I haven't ever heard of a forest firefighter versus a city firefighter.
You don't.
But it's like city mouse, country mouse, but firefighter. I haven't thought of that. But I would think that if you're a person who fights fires, especially if you're one that does it for the wilderness, then that is because you have a love and care for the wilderness, and you wouldn't want it to go up in flames. Regardless if you're gonna get. I mean, I'm sure they have other jobs besides that, right?
I would imagine so. I mean, I'd imagine it's not just a mercenary group of forest firefighters that travel around the world. Maybe it is, which would be really kind of cool.
It looks like in Canada they call them forest firefighters.
How many?
But in America they call them wilderness firefighters. Let's see, they make about $49,000 per year. That's pretty good.
Not bad. And they live in the wilderness, so they don't need much, right? The wilderness has it there for you.
It's all there, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Right.
nature wants its wilderness back. It's like nature wants to smoke a bowl.
Also, like, like back when we weren't here, like when it was just like Indians, they would set places on fire on purpose.
Yeah, and so would
To
lightning.
well, yeah, but to prevent things like this and then also because it creates, I think, doesn't it, like vegetation, like it does something for the
Yeah.
soil and stuff to make things grow.
Absolutely, you can't just constantly soil's not just some magic thing. There's like nutrients in it that have collected from time.
Right.
So it needs to be replenished, and a lot of that fire does help with that shit. Like, cleansed by fire. Back to my idea. I like that. I like that.
think maybe
Every year we have a great burning.
There's the ashtray right there. Can you hand it to me?
Could you hand me
I
that pipe, Bizaib?
I think maybe we should just have some more organized burning, and people who live up in the things they need to clear their houses.
They should be totally
Well-
held responsible for that shit, because they are supposed
that's
to be
what they're
clearing
saying
that shit.
too. Actually, in Ventura County, it's mandatory, and that a lot of people do have their houses clear and stuff. But I think
What do you mean by clear your house?
like the brush and stuff, like all the dead.
Oh, okay.
plant
Like you've got to
around you.
keep it up.
Yeah, you got basically do your yard work and get rid of your shit.
Okay.
And not have an overgrown yard, so when it's dry, it won't catch on fire. When in the Northern California fires near Napa, this guy out of the whole neighborhood, his house was one of the houses that were standing because he does that work nearly around his house.
Damn.
But you can do.
Sounds like he's gonna make a lot of money.
You can still
Might
happen.
want to watch out for that dude.
So today is the 1 week. The Thomas fire is a week old today.
Pretty good. I mean, it's sad. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at this from a fire's perspective. It's pretty good. I think fires had better runs.
When he flew home last Wednesday, he said he could see the flames from the plane, and it was pretty intense.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
was he flying at night? Because that's when it looks the
Yeah.
best.
That'd
Yeah.
be a crazy thing to fly over. Yeah.
I'm looking at a lot of video footage right now. It's pretty bad. It's a lot of CG shit.
How's
though.
your guys' week been? I have a story I could tell you that spans across days.
Yeah. What's going on?
What is that sound?
That involves first I came in after right now being stuck in traffic forever.
Do you think that was Thomas related?
Irritated. No, I think it's shopping related, honestly.
I could see that. 100%.
People are fucking going to the goddamn malls. So on Monday, I work in Santa Monica at a bar. And Mondays, when I work during the day, I'm the only person there because it's, I can handle it. It's fine. And this guy came in, towards the end of my shift and sat at the bar. And we were talking and chatting. And he's from Iceland.
Okay.
Right? And so he's telling me all this shit about Iceland and all, how it's way cold there and the days are short and all this shit. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I kind of know that. But, not interested in, LA at all. It seemed like he was just trying to educate me on Iceland.
Dude,
Just going around the world educating, because I always thought Iceland was more green and Greenland was more cold.
I learned that too from Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, that's what I'm glad we all got a little bit
I just
of
looked this
education
up.
from the
Dude, I just looked this up. As of last year, they only have a population, the whole country, of 334,000 people. Seriously?
What's their
In
landmass?
I've been to hockey games with more people. That's the whole population.
Wait, how
What's their
much?
landmass?
30,000?
Wait,
300.
334,000. 252, according to that. I just rounded up. What's their landmass? Let's look. I'll pull up their weekend.
They're very small. I looked at them.
I mean, because that would make sense if their population's shrinking. They got to send people out. They got to do some recruiting missions.
Well, he said it was his first time in LA. He's visiting his girlfriend, who lives in the Palisades, and he had walked from the Palisades all the way down to Santa Monica.
How old was
How
this
far?
guy?
How far is the Palisades to that? I don't know.
I mean,
not
I
far.
think he just spent the day at the beach, and then ended up at my job. He's my age. He's actually he's 36, 37, so a little bit older than me.
So he's way older
He
than
has 2 kids. I know all about him. He has 2 kids, 6 and 8, or something like that.
Damn, he'd be fucking.
He just left them back in Iceland.
Yeah, he's just here for a week. And he's visiting his girlfriend who is from here, and they met back in March of this year because she was on vacation in Iceland, and he drove her to the airport, and that's how they met. So I think he's like a taxi driver.
Damn, that's
right?
probably a good thing. So why else would you go to Iceland but to leave?
Yeah, so
It's probably with 300 and however many thousand people, that's probably the only way you meet new people.
334,000.
Yeah.
You just, like, the only way to meet new people is to become a taxi driver.
Right.
And take people to and from the airport.
Yeah, so he's like been through a divorce. It sounded like a pretty bitter divorce. But whatever. He's telling me all that shit. She's been back to Iceland 3 or 4 times since March. So he's like, it's about time I come here. Okay, fine. So then, about a half hour later, after we've been talking, this other guy comes in and sits at the bar. And there's like a chair between them. So they start talking. He's telling him the same stuff, and he's like, was just in San Francisco, the new guy.
Mm-hmm. The Icelandic fool.
No, not the Icelandic fool, the guy that's sitting kind of next to him.
Let's call him Guy B.
Guy B.
Guy B?
Well,
The B guy.
well,
B guy.
he's a black guy who came.
Oh, that's why he's the B guy.
Well,
B
yeah,
for black.
He's a black guy who came. He was in Santa Monica for an audition or something like that. So he was like killing time.
Oh, he's an actor.
Right.
Those
They're
aren't
getting
people.
Along, they're getting along fine. No, I think he was a dancer. But
Below,
so
not people.
they're getting along fine and just talking, like whatever. So then it's happy hour now, so I'm getting a little busy, so I'm serving people at the bar, and I have the whole restaurant, so I'm not always behind the bar. I come back behind the bar, the Icelandic dude leans towards the black guy and says, oh yeah, no, I get what you're saying, we're the N-words of the North. Like, hard on.
He doesn't mean Norseman.
Was he like a ginger? Like, what was it? Like,
He
what's
means Icelandic.
just Icelandic people?
Yes.
That's what they're called?
That means blonde hair, blue eye, and when you say that, that's what I think.
Oh yeah, this guy was transparent. Like, whiter
Like
than,
bling bling?
Whiter than good Eric.
Like this motherfucker can reflect light particles and move in space
I'm
with a
trying to
laser.
think about who I.
He provides
I don't
back to
even
the
know.
grid.
Yeah, he's super white, super clear.
Blindingly. Put
And
sunglasses
the guy
on just
goes,
to
and
look
I
at
go,
him.
what? And then the guy's like, huh? And he says it again, and the guy goes, nope, over. Like, I'm not talking to you. And the guy's like, oh no, let me explain. Like, we were enslaved. He's like, nope, I'm tired of like people thinking they can use that word. I don't like that word. Like, don't talk to me like that. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. He's like, I don't think you mean to offend me, but you did. It's whatever. We're not talking anymore, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't know at that point what to do, if I should like kick this Icelandic dude out or not. You know what I mean? But it seemed to like they weren't gonna fight or anything, and this other guy came and sat in between them. Right, and then he's a regular. Was ordering. Then I left.
Just some other random guy.
Right.
All right.
So and okay, so then I leave. The next day I go to the West Side Comedy because I was doing an open mic there, and I walk in, and this dude's sitting at the bar there.
Yeah,
Fucking
Icelandic
open
guy?
micers,
The Icelandic guy.
just like me.
And so I'm like, what the fuck? The reason why he's there is because I mentioned it to him before I knew he was like kind of this like
Racist?
racist fucking asshole, right?
Yeah.
So I go in, I do my set, whatever, and then he's leaving. I walk outside as he's leaving, and he's talking to one of the owners. And then he leaves, and I was like, hey, what did he say? Because then I tell him my story, and he was like, oh, what the fuck? I should have kicked this guy's ass. And I was like, what the fuck? Why? What happened? And he was like, okay, well, he walked up and introduced himself, and the door guy that night is Jabari, and he was like, oh, I've never met a man named like that before. I'm from Iceland. And then just immediately says, oh, U.S. troops have been occupying Iceland from whatever to like the 2000s. And he said that, but one of the agreements was they, to be occupied, that U.S. wouldn't send black troops to Iceland because they didn't want
They'd
them
fuck all their women. They
all
knew
their
it.
women.
Sorry, their women are horny. What did they do when the internet got there?
Sorry.
Oh
there
no!
was-
Why do they keep buying? Look, it says right here on Wikipedia, Iceland is the 18th largest island of the world, Europe's second largest, but it's only 39,768 square miles. It's tiny, dog. And it also is the number one buyer of black dildos.
So he's just telling this to the door guy. Like he just randomly opens up to the door guy about this, or to one of the owners.
They both were standing there. The one of the owner who was also the bartending that night, and the door guy, right?
Okay.
And so it's like they're not talking about occupied forces in a foreign country, nothing like that. He just blurts it out, right? And they're like, what the fuck is that, right? And again, they're in the same situation because it's kind of like an overt thing, you know what I mean? Like, in my situation, it was like he actually used the N-word, but like, this just seemed weird. Like, now, with those two things, fuck this guy, right?
Yeah.
So, then he tells Gorbos the same shit that he told me, but then Monday night, him and his girlfriend break up. And he said he walked from the Palisades to Santa Monica again and checked in at the hostel, right? And so he left from the west side going to the hostel. So then the next day on Wednesday, this fool comes back into my job and sits at the bar. And I looked at him and I was like, hey. And he's like, hey. And I was pouring a beer and I served it. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, the language you used in here the other day was inappropriate. We will not tolerate that. So I can't serve you and you need to leave. And he was like, what, me? And I was like, yeah, you. And he was like, oh, okay, sorry, bye. And then he leaves. So it's like 3 days in a row. But here's the kicker part of it is later on, I get off work Wednesday, I go do a show, and I come back to my job, I have like a beer before I have to go to do another show. And I see a comedian there and I start talking to him. I tell him this story and he was like, dude, he also works at a restaurant in Santa Monica. And on Sunday night, so the day before I met this guy, he was working and some guy comes from the patio inside and is like, you need to kick this guy out or I'm going to kick his ass. I will fight him because he's going around the patio just saying the N-word to people. So, and he was a foreign guy, a foreign white guy. So this is speculation, but I think it's the same guy. So what is this dude is just going around like, you know where you are, right? It was just like kind of a weird week.
That's a lot of.
Well, I've been looking up like Icelandic racial slurs right now, and they only have 3.
Well, I told it.
They're pretty shitty, dude. One is Bjork. And that's the only reason is because she's the Icelander everyone knows. Okay, that
is so funny.
So the second one is Dema, which is for Icelanders. Dema refers to an ancestral deity in many mythologies that is murdered and then from her body comes a creation, i.e. a plant or a sky. It's also the name of some lunatic chick who lives in Iceland. So like Dema.
So you're calling them a
crazy girl, basically, yeah. And then there's Skrob. Skrob is what fishermen and dockers call Icelanders. It's from the word skrod, which is 19th century for young codfish. So that's it. So there's Skrob, which is calling them a codfish.
What if like you're saying that word is the N-word in their country?
You should have been like, she's a Bjork, dude. Bjork's their N-word.
Like, my friend Jones.
Would you call me?
Yeah. I'm gonna start calling you Bjork.
She's a fucking Bjork, dude. Oh, God. What do you have against Iceland, man? You and your Icelandic slurs.
But I talked to my friend who's been there twice in the last 2 years, and he said that the country is super liberal. Like, their liberal party, their conservative party is our liberal party, and their most liberal is the one that's in power right now. So, like, this guy, like, obviously doesn't represent an entire country, even though he's small enough to me.
Right, you couldn't get a girl there.
That's why he came to America.
You can't bag an Icelandic chick?
Welcome to America.
Hey, when the Icelandic guy can't get an Icelandic chick, that means he doesn't know how to fish. And I don't trust a man.
Oh, man. I love how you just shook your finger and I don't trust a man.
Because I had to mean it.
Yeah, you did.
That's how you know I really don't trust something. With that crazy finger wave. Sorry I took this weed and just packed a bowl, whoever it is.
No,
someone in this room.
It's fine.
Dude, so what else?
Here, packeted this. That bowl is kind of
crazy shit. Alright, here. It's still movable. Crazy shit's been happening and I've been uninformed because I've been out in the desert.
Yeah, you had a crazy adventure too, didn't you?
A little bit, but like I want to find out. There was like a bombing. Like someone tried a suicide bomb today in like New York.
Oh yeah,
That
I
failed.
haven't heard the story yet.
And then
it was a pipe bomb.
some like 24-year-old like. Well, I heard he bombed himself. The guy.
Yeah, I mean he I mean it sounds like he basically just like blew his dick off.
Oh, he's alive.
Yeah, he's still
He's
alive.
alive.
They got him. Like he has non-life threatening injuries. The other people have non-life threatening injuries. Like if it wasn't the fact that it was a subway and that the guy's brown, it probably wouldn't even be news in New York.
Could I?
I mean, it just so I.
He's claiming ISIS and all that stuff is what they're saying.
Can I try and play this video and see if like it plays?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can try.
It's not even queued up.
this is the meat and potatoes.
Well, it's not plugged into this, but eventually we will get it. But I'm gonna see if it will just if it can hit. If the mic should pick it up. I'm guessing, right? I should put this where you guys can see it too. It's a good ad. Can you guys hear that ad?
You know, I actually like that ad.
Oh yeah? Mute.
Just
Oh, I don't have a
because
mute
Susan
button.
Sarandon and her voice is so soothing.
But every time I think of Susan Sarandon, though, I just think of the end of Stepmom,
Here,
and I get really sad.
An attempted terrorist attack. Thank God the perpetrator did not achieve his ultimate goals. Thank God our first responders were there so quickly to address the situation to make sure people were safe. Thank God the only injuries that we know at this point were minor. But I agree 100% with the governor's point that the choice of New York is always for a reason. Because we're a beacon to the world and we actually show that a society of many faiths and many backgrounds can work. And we show that democracy can work. And our enemies want to undermine that. The terrorists want to undermine that. So they yearn to attack New York City. But New York City is blessed with the finest law enforcement. And what our first responders did today was another example, the ability to address the situation quickly, contain it, and make sure people are safe.
All right, see, here's the problem I have with this, and especially after seeing that fucking little press conference is, all right. So what this guy did is horrible, but he decided that he was going. He basically was a failed criminal who fucked up, was not able to achieve his goal, whether he's pledging ISIS or whatever the fuck he's pledging, and it's conquered our news. It's been everywhere. In October, there was a white dude who went into a North Carolina airport
Guilty.
and threw a bag with a pipe bomb in it. It didn't go off. He was caught. No one was injured. I mean, I guess a couple people were injured here, which is very sad.
Did
but
they take him to
this
Burger King after?
This got no coverage at all. Like it got no coverage at all. So I mean,
Probably went to a Hardee's. That's where they fucked up.
I mean, it's especially after the press secretary came out today and had like a massive meltdown and confrontation with reporters calling out fake news, and
Yeah.
it's just like
I heard something about that too because I watch the CNN. I watch CNN sometimes when I'm driving home. Don't tell anybody.
Is that the bad
And
one?
I keep
that's the new drinking and driving, watching and driving.
yeah, I keep seeing. Well, when I do both of those, watch out.
That's why I'm multi-talented.
But I was hearing little bits of that, so I don't really know what Sanders. We were talking about Huckabee Sanders. I don't
Yeah.
really know what she's saying, but I know it's very dangerous to start discrediting like the Fourth Estate. We need them.
Yeah, no,
What's the Fourth Estate?
The media, the
Oh.
news.
it's completely. I mean, she basically went on a tangent about how fake news is completely, it's completely prevalent, and they're attacking the president, and no one's being held accountable, and she wouldn't even let them, follow up with questions. She just kept screaming at them, I'm not finished, like, let me finish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
I can't wait to watch.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Such a
Yeah, it's like
She
watching
Spicered
children.
it?
Yeah.
Did she just Spicer it?
Yeah, I mean it's like watching a child, and you can see it in her eyes, like when she gets ready to go, and she goes after these reporters, and they're even like, well, I wasn't even thinking of going down this line of questioning, but what about this and what about this and what about this, and like she doesn't answer any of the questions. She just turns it back on fake CNN. She turns it back on what was that guy for ABC that got fired or got suspended for 4 weeks?
Dick Grabber.
Hilarious.
News correspondent, yeah. So.
No, yeah, she's saying that the news is that I remember that the news is purposely misleading the public,
That's
which
its job.
is just that's exactly what they're doing.
Well, and it's interesting that one of the stories that she didn't bring up about this is one that came up from Fox News over the past couple days, which was that one of Roy Moore's accusers had an inscription on her yearbook from him, and she had added to it the date and where it was. Mm-hmm. And the way that Fox News reported it and the way that it got picked up and ran over the weekend was that she altered parts of the inscription, which is not true. She made an annotation to an inscription.
Right.
There was no
It was tested.
Yeah, no one, they didn't retract that, or maybe they did and buried it down somewhere, like, but that, so this idea, like, I don't like this idea that this side is always right and this side is always wrong.
No, yeah.
And it happens on both ways.
Right, but here's the difference between the news and the White House is most news and credible news organizations, when they get it wrong, because sometimes you do get it wrong, then you apologize. You say, retract it. Here's what is the truth. And
agreed.
And then they take responsibility.
Yeah, you own up to it and move on.
And if you're a news organization who doesn't do that, then shame on you. And then if you're a White House and the administration who doesn't do that, super shame on you. And that's what's happening. There's been no accountability for the fucking fake shit that anyone has said coming out of the White House and that entire administration at all.
No.
And they're purposely saying shit
that they
know is not true.
Yeah. Well, and it's on the flip side, the other thing that I've been seeing a lot of is since Al Franken resigned, is I've been seeing a lot of people on the left writing these articles and just talking about how he shouldn't have resigned. He should have gotten his due process.
They made him resign. And he didn't want to resign.
No,
I think they made him.
But he should have. Like the whole
sure.
Their whole argument is but this person has done, but Roy Moore has done worse and Donald Trump has done worse, and until they do it, which is a whole line of thinking that is very similar to the line of thinking that I think they're trying to go against, where
I feel the opposite.
You have to I think you have to hold your standards. If you're just gonna ditch your standards, then there's no point. He had to step down.
Of course he had to step down, because the Democratic side is holding up to the standards. Everyone who has been accused of it has stepped down or been forced to retire and all that stuff. And on the other side, it's not happened. Roy Moore, the president of the United States, and what the left or the Republicans are saying is well, they haven't admitted to it. These people have admitted to it, and all that stuff. And they're so they're just calling all these women liars, and they're saying they don't admit to it. And I think what Al Franken is it's half and half. He's admitting to some of it and then saying some of it is not true.
Yeah, I mean, I was more just going along the lines of we're seeing more and more, whether it's from the right or the left, that we're drawing lines in the sand and we're deciding that we're gonna support Al Franken until he gets his due process, but we want people on the right to step down.
That?
I read a Medium article about it. I've had a couple of conversations with people about it. It's just it's an
not
idea
a Democratic person.
A Democratic people.
What I mean, in the Senate, did someone just say that, or that's just an idea that?
No, it's news media well, I don't even know if you can call it news media, but online publications that people get their information from. I think there was a piece in
Like
Huffington
Facebook?
Post about it. Yeah, spread through Facebook. There was a piece in Huffington Post about it. There was an article on Medium about it that I read.
Well, I spread most of my fake news through Facebook and Twitter.
But that's an opinion, right?
It is, but the way that media is presented now, a lot of news organizations are blurring the line, right and left, between opinion and what is actually news reporting.
Yeah, and you.
5 more minutes. I was just saying 5 minutes.
Oh.
Let's wrap it up in 5 minutes. Countdown.
Yeah, and the what's responsible, I think, of that is Harvey fucking what's it called in that TMZ shit. Like
Levin.
that.
Harvey Levin.
You know, blurring the line, like they're breaking real news, quote unquote, and sometimes they do, and then they just make up, like take a picture, make fun of the picture, and then put it right next to a legit news thing. You know, and but I think people out there are pretty much know that's an opinion, right? That's an opinion that you think that Al Franklin, because not everyone on the left thinks that. I don't think that. I think he should.
No, not everyone, but there's definitely a large enough percentage of people that do. I mean, there's people that still think Obama was born in Kenya. I mean, so no.
What the fuck? Sorry.
No amount of I just think on a larger scale. I mean, the people we hang out with are not going to have those opinions, but on a larger scale, the amount of information that we consume and the way we consume it now is changing the way our brains work. So, and it pays to make people, look at the page. So they'll make anything sound real.
I think that
That's
we definitely need to educate our society in knowing what they're reading and knowing if it's opinion, if it's satire, and you're right, the lines are blurred, and the fact that people still think that Barack Obama was born in Kenya.
Yeah, we all know he's really from the moon. He's one of those cheese people.
But again, that they're choosing to believe that a fact, and then I feel like there's still a difference between like the Al Franken thing, because that's an opinion on what should happen. You know what I mean? Like there's a slight difference with just believing blatant lies and then having an opinion about something that happened. You know what I mean? And having difference of opinions of that.
I do agree with that. Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's a truthism. That's what mature adults think. Dude, it was kind of fun. No offense, Melania and Nick. You guys missed out on a fun time. Right?
Yeah.
We do have stories. We have stories of the Grand Canyon trip for Melania's birthday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that looks so much fun. I wish I could have went with you guys. We got to do it again.
Yeah, well, check out on my Instagram and stuff. I put up a bunch of videos, and we're gonna put up a bunch more at matureadulttime.com.
They're not for the faint of heart, though.
We're gonna add Serafina's face in.
Yeah, of me being horrified by how close they are to the edge.
What I thought was really normal, but after seeing all the reactions from everyone else, I guess it was pretty crazy. Like even Eric was not.
I was not.
He was like, I will not go down there. I was like, no, you gotta go to the edge. That's where the canyon is. Like that.
Dude, when you're taking a video of the canyon and then you pan over to Mel sitting with her. I can't even say it. With her legs dangling, like it just makes my whole body like crunch up. I think my butthole goes into my ears. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I crunch up, and just even thinking about it, I don't even have to look at it. It makes me crazy.
I was there, and I had to watch them both do this, and I'm up there thinking like, well, both of my friends are just gonna die, and Art has the keys. What the fuck?
We're legitimately like rock climbing to like edges, like climbing out on tables. Like we were looking for like Simba birth spots, rocks that just stick out over the cliff. We found them. They were good though. But you'll see all those crazy adventures and stuff. The rest of the mature adults will be back soon, shortly.
Yeah. Speaking of a mature adult.
Well, let's get out here before they come.
Getting home right now.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up.
Oh, it's Felicia.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right.
All right. Cool.
See ya. I'm Mark Hernandez.
I'm Serafina Costanza.
Eric Kaz.
Felicia, folks. Bye.
Bye. She's sick.
We fired her. Right?
She's fired.
She was-
Oh yeah, we definitely need the coffee cups first. Ooh, I like those coffee cups.
Yes, good call.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Is this one dirty or is that what it looks like inside?
That's what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Get used to it, dog.
That's fine, I just wanted to know. Just wanted to know where I stood. If I'm like a dirty cup friend or, you know.
I think all my friends are dirty cup friends.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with that, I just, you know, just curious.
All right, here we go. Ready?